Hey guys, a warm welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to do something that you've all been asking for in the comments below over the last year. We're going to go a full garage tour of all the cars in the current fleet. Now I need your help with a couple of things here. First of all, I'm going to give you an approximate value of what I think the cars are worth in their current state. We're going to go through at the end and then reevaluate that with what they would be worth when they're all fully done. Second thing is, out of all the cars, I need to get rid of half the fleet for future projects. So let me know which ones you think should stay and which one should go in the comments below. We'll crack on with the first car. The daily driver, my lovely black Ferrari 360, well, which I've owned 13 years now actually, next month. We're going to start with the inside. So the plan with this one is, you obviously saw the Challenge Stradale Spider build we did, and that has really given me some inspiration. That, along with the silver rebuild of the Donor Stradale, it's getting confusing. But anyway, we're going to do the same on this thing here. We're going to do the full shebang. This car has had a lot of miles put on it, a lot of smiles put on my face, and it deserves a complete refurb. So we're going to start by doing the whole of the interior from the dash, which is probably one of the worst parts of it. We've got a mix match there of lower, which is really faded. The upper has really faded, and we've got a airbag that was recovered when I actually started to put all this Stradale stuff in the car. We're going to do all the seats. Every bit of Alcantara is going to get retrimmed. We're going to use the same guys that did the work on the Stradale Spider and on the silver Stradale. All of the carbon is going to get treated. We're going to re-lacquer it, resort all of these things out. We've got a new steering wheel. I know you guys often comment on my videos when I'm filming in the car. Steering wheel, that's going on. We're just going to either retrim this one or use a spare that I've got. The other major thing is under there. Again, when I'm filming in the car, there is a lack of roof lining. That's going to get sorted out. So that's interior, full refurb. Engine wise is pretty good. As I said, we're going to give it a service. It had a major service not that long ago that we did on the channel, but it's probably due another cam belt now, so we're going to do that again. We've got little panels missing here, they're in the garage, we need to do all that, but the major thing back here is just complete. It just needs a bit of elbow grease, a bit of TLC. We're going to make this sparkle again. We're going to sort out the carbon. We're going to sort out silly little things like this where the paint's just peeled off, and other than that, this one is just going to be a big cleanup. Exterior, there is something you might notice that is lacking on this car currently. No stripe at all. So the stripe was very faded and it was really peeling, and for one or other reason I've removed it. We've started to polish it up a little bit, but the car is going to get a full respray. We're going to keep it in the Nero Daytona, the black finish. I like it, that's why I bought this car in the first place. So the car is going to get fully repainted, but with one slight difference. We're going to put the stripe, the tricolor stripe, under the clear coat, the lacquer, as it was done at factory, as we did it on this Stradale Spider build. So it's going to look amazing. It's not going to suffer with the same problem of that all fading and peeling. We have done a few things down here already. We started to do all the brakes, but we're going to get all those set off and redo all of the calipers. The suspension is all good now. Got one little thing to do over here. Got a bolt that's got a slight little rattle to it, so we're going to sort that out. Mainly on the exterior though is going to be sorting out things like the front bumper, which is, well, held together with tape. We've got a new one of these to go on there, or a replacement one of those. That's going to go on soon. We are going to be doing all of the carbon fibre that was really suffering on this car. All the lacquer has come off. The carbon is totally fine, but we're going to be redoing all of that, all of these bits here on the engine panel. And like I say, carbon, respray, do the brake calipers, give it a service, and this baby is going to look like new again. Now, I have used this as a daily driver for the best part of 13 years, and like I say, it has been a fantastic car. And well, even though it has suffered quite a bit, I promise you, this thing, you will not tell the difference between this one and one that is a garage queen that has done 5,000 miles. Now, one issue with all of my cars that you've often pointed out, it's there in various locations and most of them are unfortunately outside, which is far from ideal. Now, as Ashtec rightfully pointed out, really to grow the channel we need a workshop, which is a brilliant idea. I've discovered Brilliant.org to help me understand and appreciate the mechanics and other areas of cars we all love, to master the science and apply the skills I learn. Brilliant has thousands of interactive lessons with new ones added every month, designed to help you gain the knowledge and skills you need to excel in your field. But it's not just all about the lessons. At Brilliant, they have the best way of learning science, maths, computer science interactively, making it fun and engaging. Take O here. He's putting his newly learned skills of maintaining the most effective boiling point of water to great use by making the perfect cup of tea. So if, like me, you want to gain an edge in your STEM career, Brilliant is a no-brainer. And with Brilliant, you can learn fun new skills without spending years and thousands on another degree. And for a limited time, the first 200 of you who visit brilliant.org/Ratarossa or simply click on a link in the description below the video will receive 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. Now let's carry on with my garage tour learning curve. And then we come to our little anomaly on the channel. This is not a Ferrari, this is a Porsche. My classic Porsche 911. This is a 1970 T model, so it's the basic model. It is a non-sunroof coupe, so it's quite a sought after one. It looks pretty bad, this car. Porsches tend to rot worse, or the bits you don't see are on the inside. This is actually not too bad. It's had some work before, but the actual inner chassis, the skeleton, is pretty solid on this car, so it's a good sign. We've got the right headlights. We haven't got the silly American style ones which have a big kind of eyelid over the top of them. Here's some more of Kate. Classic Foose wheels, like those, very much like those. I'm thinking what we're going to do with this car though is we're going to give it like a slight ST, maybe an RS flare at the back here, just to give it a bit more of a stance. Change the wheels to a bit of a wider 15-inch at the back. Let's open up that back engine lid. This all needs to come out. It did have a slight refurb when I first bought the car, but there is a lot of work that needs to happen in there, mainly the wiring. The wiring is a complete mess. It's been hacked around many times over the years. So engine wise, refurb on the engine, wiring, body work on this one though, the exterior body work. You can see here we've got the trusty tape just covering up a little bit of rust, and yeah, this is all pretty bad. You know, there was no delusions buying this car. It was cheap, and it was cheap for a reason. Now, I proved to you guys that this car does not move. Check out the driveway here. Check out the driveway around the Porsche. Miss Moss here. And around the wheel, we see, look, it's nice and fresh. So this thing does not come off the driveway. But you can see here, this is not the right environment for a Porsche. It really should be in a garage, and we're going to try and do that at some point. The paintwork is completely flat. It's been painted multiple times, this car. We got guards red here on top. We've got some kind of metallic blue there, and beyond that there should be an orange, and that was the original car of this car, color of this car. It's tangerine orange, and we've just got some paint ordered up. We haven't touched this because it's all getting stripped back, it's all getting repainted, but it's a lovely car, and it's one that I always regret selling my two early classics, and we bought it, fortunately, like I say, at a decent price. I could sell this car for parts for a lot more than I paid for it. And then we got some strange things on this car, like these seats. These are not the original seats, but I am told they are worth quite a bit of money. I think these are like 70s or early 80s turbo seats from the 911, and they're quite rare. So we'll be selling those to fund some correct seats. It had the addition of seat belts at some point, because it wouldn't have had seat belts in this car when it first came out. But I just love the little bits on this car. The little pulley bit here, for the engine lid. Same over here. This one here gets this bit, does that bit there. Watch this. It's just so cool, so cool. And then we got one more there which does the front hood. But the reason really we haven't done too much more on this is it literally needs a complete restoration, which, as you've seen from the BBI, takes a lot of time, a lot of effort and a lot of money. And I want to do this right when we do it, and when we do it, it's going to be done so it's going to survive for another 50 years. This is over 50 years old now, 52 years old, and well, it's a good looking 52-year-old. Ferrari 308, the grey 1982 GTSI. This feels a little bit like deja vu because I'm pretty sure I said this a year ago. We were gonna focus on this one, get this one done. The game plan on this has changed very slightly. It is 40 years old now, and that means it's a very cheap classic car. Free MOT, free car tax. So I was gonna keep it, but needs must, and well, I've got two of them. This one is going to have to go. The black car at the back, that is a 1983, so next year that will be 40 years old as well, have the same status, and I'm going to keep that one. This one, it does need a little bit of work though, not a lot. Bodywork wise, it's great. We've got a little issue at the front here on the crack lights. As parts go on Ferraris, these are a nice cheap one, which is something I don't often say on camera, but those lenses, 5-minute fix, no problem at all. Couple of little bits around the bodywork. It's a solid car, there's no rust on this one, and really it just needs a polish up. I've got one little bit over here where we need to get my dent man to just pop out a dent. Other than that, it's a very, very nice and unique Ferrari 308. This one is a two-tone, so we've got the grey upper body, black lower body, which was quite popular in the late 70s, this two-tone theme. Crept its way into the early 80s. This car though has a little bit of a story. Wayne Carini of Chasing Classic Cars, this car came from the US. He was brought this car by a customer who wanted to do the classic thing back in the 10, 20 years ago. They all wanted to change these different coloured Ferraris to Rosso Corsa. Ferraris all wanted to go Rosso Corsa, Porsches always, they all went to Guards Red, and nowadays everyone is changing them back to originality. Anyway, this car went to Wayne Carini, and the guy said, look, can you spray this one Rosso Corsa, or maybe the yellow, Ferrari yellow? And Wayne said, no, that's too rare. This colour scheme is a very cool one, and I'm not going to touch the car. Anyway, he persuaded the guy to keep it. Unfortunately, we now have the car in this rare guise. So it's going to stay that way. I really like it. I think it looks rather special and a little bit unique. And you know, this grey is a really, really nice grey. Exterior wise, the car is good. Unfortunately though, the bit that needs work on this one, fortunately I do have the right people to work on this one, and that is things like the seats. The steering wheel here very cracked. We're going to get all this retrimmed. Seats, we've done a little bit of a repair on the seats as a temporary thing, but you can see the foams have all gone on there. The lever's really badly cracked, so that's all going to get retrimmed. The engine's really tidy, but like I say, it has the problem, so we're going to have to go a bit deeper. I have, as you can see, got things off here. We have started to look at it already, but we got no further with this problem, so that is going to be the priority on this car, and then it's going to be for sale. Under the hood here, in the frunk we call it, very clean, you know, all the rad, it's all really lasted very, very well indeed. I've got the spare wheel for this one as well, and the main thing on this car that I've struggled with, that we really need to focus on, is the engine. So it all runs, but we have this mysterious misfire that I can't figure out what is going on. So we might need to get some help with that one. But once we figured out that, we figured out just some of these other little problems on the car, then this one is going to get sold, and we're going to use the funds to buy some very cool parts. The next car on our channel is the Ferrari 456. We're going to start off by testing this. Haven't driven it for a long time. Did disconnect the battery, but here we go. It's all right, it's all right. Let it build up a little bit. Let it, no. Ain't working, is it, Oak?
Ain't working, man.
That's more like it. It does that, it just doesn't wake up one of the fuel pumps. Not enough juice going through. But there you go. Anyway, this car here, well, it needs a bit of work again. Let's shut that off so I can talk. Okay, so this one has also got quite a bit of work to do. I like it. It was so cheap at $19,000. It's really worth keeping in the fleet. We've got the two little seats back here for the kiddies, and it's a Grand Tourer. Unfortunately, it's not done much Grand Touring since I owned it, and that's because it's got the common problems with a 456. It's got some electrical gremlins which haven't been helped by the fact that some kind of rodent worked its way in here and made its home. As you saw in the last video, we found all kinds of nuts in here in the center console. It chewed through some wires which I haven't fully figured out all of them yet. We've managed to kind of patch together some of them. There were nuts in the front, in the back. Literally had a whole mansion of nuts in this Ferrari. It chose a good car, to be fair. Anyway, we've got the electrical gremlins. We've got just like simple things like the build quality. These cars suffered with crazy things like window gaps. Come over here. One problem. I've only got one set of keys on this car, and it tends to lock itself when I shut the door, which is heart stopping as it was then, because always take the keys with you. Well, we have problems on this car that are common to the 456. Very, very expensive to fix back in the day. See this window gap here? Get my finger right in there. That is all to do with the mechanism down here, which either needs replacing or repairing, and in my case, because of the value of this car, we're just gonna repair it somehow. We've got some body work to do on it, just silly little things, like the delamination on the screen here. You can see this. I don't know whether or not we're gonna actually do anything with that. It's a whole rear screen. There's only one way of fixing it, and it's to replace it. Silly little things like this, the screen trim, that can be repaired, no problem. What you can't see through this screen, because it's got a lot of condensation, is the leather on the rear parcel shelf. All of that needs to be sorted out. If we come in on the inside here, I'll just point out some of the problem. So we've got bits like this, simple trim pieces that need to be rectified. The parcel shelf back there looks horrendous. That'll need to be retrimmed. We got little bits on the ceiling where it's starting to come down slightly, but again, that could all be saved. Love the interior contrast on this car. These brown seats, little horses in the headrests there, just such a nice little touch. And this car is, this is one of the Achilles heels of the car, the fact that it's an auto. It is surprisingly good though for an auto box. It's got a heck of a lot of power. It really, really did kick and put a big smile on my face when I discovered just how good it was back when we first started to get this one going. It was cheap for a reason, because it was a non-runner, and well, we got very lucky with this one. We fixed it with 2 fuel pumps, which cost a grand total. I think they were £60 each. That was it, really. That's all we've done on this car to get it all running. I'll have my kids in the back. We're going to use this. We'll go on some family trips together and enjoy those 12 cylinders, 5.5 litres. These cars were almost £200,000 when they were first sold back in the mid-90s, and nowadays for that kind of money, it's well, it's a bargain, right? $19,000. Cheapest one currently at the moment is about £35,000. So well, we can still spend a bit of money on this one, and it's going to still be worth keeping. You all know about this is the current build. We're focusing on this one 100%. I really want to progress this build, but current tasks on this one, we're waiting for, we put all the undercoats on this one. We're waiting for the polyester primer to solidify. We've given it a couple of weeks now. We're probably going to give it a couple more weeks. Then this needs to be all blocked. Then it's a coat of primer. Then it's a final coat of white. But then the major decisions on this one are going to be engine. We need to do a rebuild on that one, and I still need to source some original parts such as exhaust systems, and we've got a big decision to make on the interior. But the BVI is all going to be on the channel. You're going to see this one progressing. Keep watching. The other 308, the black 308 GTS Quattro Valvo, rat it as I like to call this one. Well, we've done quite a few videos on this one already. This one really was not in such a good state when we bought it. It was a non-runner, and it was really actually the start of this channel, the videos on this car. Anyway, we have done rust issues on it, which we discovered when we tried to do the Euro conversion on this car, which was bumpers. Now, we changed all the bumpers, which sounds simple, but then we had to change all the exhaust system, all of this lower valance. In the process, just these alone saved 30 kilos from those massive original picnic table American style bumpers to these much more lightweight fiberglass Euro spec ones. So the next thing on this car is really to get this one. It was running, we kind of messed around with it, changing things between the two cars, and now I've got a problem with it running. It will fire up, but it just will not run properly for more than a few seconds. So we've got to figure that one out. Other than that, that should be, hopefully, fingers crossed, simple to sort out. We have got to do all the body work on this car, and now I knew it was bad. It's getting worse sat outside here, so we need to try and rectify that problem as well. But look at this. This is since I've left it here before. We have got bubbles on the car now. Rust here. Then we've got bits like this spoiler. We're still not decided whether or not we're going to keep this on the car or go with a more streamlined look and lose it all together. Coming down the side here, we've done the wheels. I like them in gold. Most of you agreed it will look great on this car. We've obviously got the black full body on this car. Currently though, it is, if you go back here, have a look, we've still got this lower valance in orange. That is the Euro spec valance, much more cleaner lines than the American spec, but it's still in this orange coat that it came with. So the car will go full body black, but there's a lot of work that needs to happen before we can do that. Got little touches like this. Petrol flap, where is it? Well, they hid it behind here. Lovely, cool little touches from the 70s and 80s there. Doesn't really leak too much. I say that's a good thing on Ferraris. We have a look at the inside. The inside on this one is very different to the grey car. It's really nice. There's a few little bits. We've got things such as the seats, really good condition. A little bit of leather that's come unstitched in the middle there. Other than that though, this interior will come up really nicely, very easily. So the two cars are very different. This one's great on the outside, this one's great on the inside, but both of them have engine problems. The other thing with this one is the bodywork. That's what we were going to talk about. This is a common area on Ferrari 308s to go. This little bit here on the front wing, the front fender, we've got to sort this out. There's also another little bit at the bottom. I think it's on the other side of the door. That needs to be sorted out. And then another thing that I really don't like, and unfortunately you guys across the pond have to put up with it, is the side markers. Over here we don't need them, it's not a legal requirement. So these things, when we do the body, we're going to start plating these back up, filling them in, so we've got that lovely clean sweep back here. Really lovely car, this one. Again, 1983. This year, coming into 2023, this one is going to be a very cheap classic car to run. Free MOT, free tax. Obviously, that doesn't mean you've got to keep the car where it can be ratty like this. It's got to be road legal still. But again, everything's on this car, it is complete. Got the front bit here. The other thing that we do need to sort out on this is our cover for the back of the car, and something that really does suffer on 308s is these and the zips, so we've got to get a new one of those. But the car is all there. It's just going to take a lot of elbow grease. Mainly the thing on this one is going to be all the bodywork, but once that's done, imagine how good this car is going to look. Full jet black. We're going to probably spray this roof panel. It is wet at the moment, so it does look quite dark, but this we're going to probably do a body color. Like I say, we might lose the spoiler. If not, it's going to be body color, full jet black, gold wheels. We've got the lower front valance over here. Added that to the car instead of the small one, the shallow one. and again, it's lowered. We've put the coilover suspension on this. That is an addition we've done on it. This one I'm not too worried about keeping original, because I've obviously changed it from American spec, which is how it was built at factory, to this Euro spec. So we're going to be doing that, and then there's little bits like the wing mirrors. This needs to come slightly forward here. This is the aftermarket one I've got already, but I have got the original ones. I'm going to put those on there, and then this is going to really be a very, very cool Quattrovalvo 308. And then we come to the final car, the Ratarossa, the car that created the channel. Now, it's no secret with this one that I paid £16,000 for this one with all the shipping. It was an absolute bargain, but that was about 6 years ago now. What is it worth though today? Now, I don't want you guys saying in the comments below it's only worth 10 now, because, well, I know for a fact it's not. There's certain things on this car that are worth big money. For example, doors, they're about £3,000 or £4,000 each. Wheels, you can't even buy the tyres for a Testarossa. The original TRX tyres, you can only get them for this 16-inch version, so they are very sought after. This car is worth way more in parts now, but the big question with this one, we have covered this in a couple of videos now. I've done a bit of a teaser. So there have been a handful now of Testarossa Spiders that have broken the £1 million mark, and well, this £16,000 Testarossa, is it worth anywhere near that if it is fully restored? But what would it take to do that? Well, it's not hard to see. It's going to need a lot of work. First of all, the bodywork, I've shown you many times in the videos. We have got a lot of work to put this right. It's been lashed together, things have been created probably in a garage, and it's going to need a lot of work to get this just looking half decent. Panel gaps are all over the place on this car. This side is actually pretty good. The other side is absolutely atrocious. So bodywork is a massive part of a refurb on this car. Then we've got all the mechanics. The engine is actually not too bad on it, but it needs to come out. We've got a service next on this car, a big service. The problem is, the reason I haven't done it yet is we need a lot of space, because this whole lump has to come out the back here in order to work on it, and currently we don't have enough space to do that. So we're going to be working on that. That is coming very soon. We've got a big announcement in regard to space for Mr. Ratarossa. Next, we have got things such as the interior, the full interior. You can't really see because this car, as you all point out, is a very glorified workbench, very expensive one. But the whole interior will be needing a full retrim on this one. So there's a lot of work. Is it worth doing? That is the question. How much would it cost to do it? We've kind of covered that before, and I think it is worth doing. It's going to take a lot, this one. This is a bigger project than a BBI, but at some point I think it's going to happen on the channel. Anyway, we've got another video coming on this car very soon. So guys, that's it. That is the full tour. Which ones stay, which ones go? Let me know in the comments below. Well guys, there you go. That is the full tour of the fleet. Technically though, it's not. There are more than one on their way, so you're gonna have to wait and see what they are. They're going to be a bit of a surprise, but it's going to be worth the wait. Anyway, as you can see, we have got our work cut out. There are lots of cars there. All of them need quite a bit of work, and well, this guy, the compadre, is going to be very busy throughout the year. He's got his work cut out, as have I, to bring you some viewing pleasure on those projects. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are. Which ones of those cars should stay, which ones should go? We literally need to half the fleet. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and you can check out what we get up to on a daily basis over on my socials. Until the next time, stay safe and ciao for now.
One more time, one more time.
Hold on, do it again because the crow put me off. So I'm going to start using this and really start putting it to how it was designed. Grand touring, little kids in it. My little kids. I can't say that. Fleet was technically